absolute error is an concept that is frequently used in statistics, especially in data analysis. So what is data analysis? So let's say you do a survey, you go to a restaurant, you buy something to eat, and then they give you a receipt, and they usually ask you to go online and then fill out a survey. So when you bring the receipt back for the next time, they will give you something for free. So when you go online, enter the code, they will ask you a bunch of questions, right? So what do you think of the service? From 0 to 10, can you give me a number? So what do you think of the food? The value of the food from 0 to 10, give me a number. Can you tell me what you think that we should improve? And can you tell me one thing that we did well? So something like this. So what is data analysis? So data analysis is, let's say 1,000 people enter this survey. So they will collect all the responses, which is data, and then they will analyze the data to see what they are doing well and what needs to be improved. So that is data analysis. So when you calculate absolute error, two values that you have to get. The first one is estimated value. So in this lesson, I will denote it by VE, the subscript E. Estimated value, the E stands for estimated, the V stands for value. There are other names for estimated value. The forecast value, some textbook use that, and some textbook use prediction. When I teach statistics, I always use the word prediction. And then also approximation, or even just a guess. And then actual value, so we just call that a V. Actual is called observation or data. So what is the difference between estimated value and actual value? Let's say I am going to take a final exam tomorrow. Before the test, I guess that I will get 80 points on the test. So that is my estimated value, or just a guess, or my prediction, because I haven't taken the test yet. Before I take the test, I will just guess, right? So before you take a test, you guess this too. So tomorrow I'm going to take that test. Since I study so well, I'm going to get 100 points on the test. That is your prediction. What about actual value? Actual value is the score that you obtain from the test, right? So after you finish the test, you have your exam score written on your paper, right? So that is actual value. So before I take the test, I predict that I will get 80 points on the test. After I finish the test, I end up getting 100 points. So my prediction is 80 points. My observation, my actual value observation is 100 points. And guess what? Which number goes to the professor's data? The 100 points, your actual score. Your professor doesn't care what you believe you will get, right? That is just on your side. So what I need is, as a professor, I need the number on your paper. I don't care what you guess, okay? You can guess whatever you want. You can say you will get 0 points on the test. You can do whatever you want. But what I need is the score on your paper, all right? So that is the actual value that I have to collect, because I need to calculate your grade at the end of the semester or quarter. How do you calculate absolute value? Sorry, not absolute value, absolute error. So absolute error, we call that AE, which is the absolute value of the estimated value minus the actual value. Again, is the absolute value of estimated minus actual. Why do we need to take the absolute value? First of all, the purpose of using absolute value is we want to take away the negative. And I will show you why we need to take the absolute value in a minute. So suppose you take a test, the estimated value is what you think you will get, right? And then the actual value is your real score on your exam paper. So I have 3 examples. So number 1, you think you will get 80 points on the test, and you actually got 80 points on the test. Number 2, you think you will get 80 points, but you end up getting 95. Case number 3, you think you will get 80, you end up getting 60. So I have 3 cases right here. The first one is you get exactly what you predicted, right? So that is a perfect guess. And then number 2, you got above. So that is over. I just underestimated myself. I can do better than I thought. And then number 3, I overestimated myself. I think I'm good, but when the result comes out, that proves that I am not that good. Okay, let's calculate the absolute error. Very easy. So let's move on to the computation. So the first one, number 1, the absolute error, that is the absolute value of 80 minus 80, right? Estimated minus actual, that is equals to the absolute value of 0, that is equals to 0. Number 2, the absolute error is equals to estimated minus actual. So this one you have the absolute value of negative 15. Take the absolute value of that, you get a 15. And I will show you why you need the absolute value in a minute. And number 3, absolute error, that is equal to the absolute value of 80 minus 60. That is equal to the absolute value of 20. That is equals to 20. It looks like the absolute value affects this negative. Why? Why do we need the absolute value? So let's do this without the absolute value. So number 1, if you take 80 minus 80, you have a 0, right? No surprise. Number 2, if you 80 minus 85, you get negative 15. And then number 3, you have 80 minus 60, you get a 20. So one thing that I need to answer is, how do you explain this negative? So if you take a look at the first case, you get exactly what you believe you will get. So that is equals to 0. So this is a perfect estimation. Your estimation skill is perfect, right? What about number 3? You think you will get 80 points, but you end up getting 60 points. So that means it's overestimate, right? So this one is overestimation. And then number 2, 80 minus 95 is equals to negative 15. What does that mean? Negative 15. So negative 15. So this one is underestimate. When the difference is negative, you just underestimate yourself. So this one is underestimate. But why do we need the absolute value? So let me ask you this question. Very simple. What is the difference between 80 and 95? Let me repeat the question again. What is the difference between 80 and 95? Give me an answer. Your answer is the difference between 80 and 95 is 15, right? Do you say the answer between 80 and 95 is negative 15? No, you don't say this, right? So how about this? I have $10 in my pocket. You have $6 in your pocket. What is the difference between us? The difference between us is $4, right? How about this? I have no money in my pocket and you have $7 in your pocket. What is the difference between us? You say that the difference is 0 minus 7, although that equals to negative 7, but you do not report the negative 7, right? You know, I have 0, you have 7. You will just say, all right, the difference between us is $7. You don't say the difference between us is negative $7, right? So let's say you have 50 points on the test. Your friend has 60 points on the test. What is the difference between you two? You say the difference between us is 10, but you don't report the negative 10, right? The difference between our score is 10 points. We have a 10 points difference. You don't say we have a negative 10 points difference. So that's why you need the absolute value. So that explains the purpose of using absolute value, and that is also the end of this lesson. In the next lesson, I will introduce what relative error is that is based on this. So I will see you all in there. Before I sign out, if you think my instruction is helpful, like the video, give me a comment in the comment section below, subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed to my channel. See you all in the next lesson. Signing off for now.